When it's right environment, it forms into spores. And so you can't see it with your eyes, you can't even smell it. So that's why you have to go by the science. Sometimes on an airplane, when you're flying in, coming into the city, getting ready to land, you can't even see the airport. But the pilot can't see it either, but he got a radar system that he sees it on radar. He knows how far he is from the ground, because he's following the science of aerodynamics. So that's what we have to do, and you'll feel comfortable. When that plane landing, it seems like, you're gonna crash, but no, he got it all under control. He can't see, but he's following the laws of flying. We are following the laws of canning. So you don't have to be afraid of botulism. You're not afraid of it when you go to the store and buy your canned goods. So why, if you learn the laws of canning and you follow those instructions, the truth will make you free. Okay, you don't have to be in fear. It will make you free if you do the right thing. Okay, so, but when the bacteria gets in a condition, trying to prolong its survival, trying to prolong its life, extend its life, it turns, when it gets in a hostile environment, it turns into spores. And those spores is heat resistant. They're hard to kill them. They don't mind you putting them in a 80-degree pot. They ain't thinking about no 80-degree pot. Hey man, she got us in an 80-degree pot. We'll be all right in here. We'll be all right in this jar. The next thing you know, 6 months from now, you got spores turning into the bacteria again. Clostridium, botulinum. They end up having a good old time eating your beans up. Eating your beans. All that hard work you done. Next time you know, the lid on your top is bulging out. Why? Because the bacteria and they're having a good old time. They're having a good old time in your jar. Okay, and you look at it, look at these jars. They got a little bigger, didn't they? The lid got a little bigger. Well, if that lid begin to bulge up, throw that out. Don't just go ahead and eat it. Why? You don't want to eat that because, see, that bacteria, Clostridium botulinum, most likely probably have turned into the toxin, botulinum toxin, the neurotoxin. You don't want to eat that because that'll get down in your system. It'll get down in your system, snail proteins, and it begin to affect the snail protein. And you don't want it to do that because it'll cling to it and begin to break it down. Now, botulism is a paralytic condition, a neuroparalytic condition. You can say a flaccid paralysis. And what that does is you won't be able to contract your muscles. Say for instance, if you was a bodybuilder, if you lift weights, if you went to the gym and you can lift 100 pounds, well, if you had this condition, you're not going to be able to lift 100 pounds because your muscles wouldn't be able to contract. What botulism is simply the brain is sending messages to the body, but the toxin, the botulinum toxin, is preventing the messages to get through to contract your muscles, and so your body can perform. So you won't be able to lift no weights. You can go to the gym all you want to, but if you had this condition, so it's a serious condition that you can be aware of, but you don't have to be afraid of. If you follow the science of canning, sometimes you mention canning to people, the first thing they say is botulism. Well, what is botulism? A paralytic condition. The reason why you become paralyzed is because the messages are not getting through. So that paralytic condition begins from the head down. Your eyes, you may have problems with your eyes, you may have double vision, can't swallow food, and your bowels is not moving through your body properly because of the paralytic condition of neural paralysis. So that's why that's the condition. You don't want to be like that. So that's why you have to follow the science of canning. Clostridium botulinum, that's the bacteria that we're dealing with here. Clostridium botulinum, it causes botulism. And botulism comes from the toxin, botulinum toxin. They may be in one of your canning jars. If you don't follow the correct procedures, you can have them in your canning jars. That's why you have to get the temperature up to 240, 250, the recommendation of the USDA, so you can kill the spores that may be in this jar. Now, Clostridium botulinum spores is everywhere around the planet, you know. You can find them in the dirt, soil, different kinds of dirt, maybe dark soil, all kinds of soil, sand. It can be in the sand at the beach. Clostridium botulinum spores, you may find them in the sand. And on your food, maybe in your potatoes. When you get potatoes out the ground, spores could be on those potatoes. Most likely they are. That's why you have to cook it. Don't just, some people just, you know, they eat. And even from dust and dirt. That's why you have to make sure that your children's is not eating dirt. If you got like a 1-year-old, make sure that if he drops some cane on the ground, dirt don't hurt. Well, we have grace, you know. Thank God for grace. His grace is sufficient, but we have to know to do the right thing, you know. So you have to teach little kids, oh, don't eat that candy from off the ground, or don't eat that dirt. Why? Because of Clostridium botulinum. The spores that's there, it can get in their system, especially a child maybe 12 months, under 12 months. Their body is not developed, and that bacteria can thrive, and that can turn into toxin inside their body because of the body temperature, room temperature, and so it can thrive there, and he can have problems. So you want to be careful. So that's why you have to cook your food. Don't just eat everything raw. Even you can find it in fish. Clostridium botulinum, you can find it in certain fish. So, you know, don't eat everything raw. You're taking a chance sometimes. So you can find it if it's the right environment. Clostridium botulinum, once it's in a threatened, a hostile environment, it turns into spores, and like rod-shaped spores. Now you can't see it with your eyes, it's microorganism, but it turns into spores just to survive. It wants to survive just like you do. So when it is in a threatened environment, maybe an environment that's heat, too much heat, you know, if you're cooking food, and where that, it's going, you know, it's getting too, it's heat resistance. It's beginning to, a hard type spore, it's hard to kill it. You know, just 60 degrees is not going to kill it. Just a water bath is not going to kill the spores. So that's why the USDA recommend, like, you get it up to 240, that's 250, up in that range, so it can kill the spores, and you cook it at the amount of time that you're supposed to cook it. If it says cook it for 90 minutes, I don't feel like pressure heating it for 90 minutes a day, I'm gonna do it for 20 minutes. Well, that's not enough time to kill the spores. So you got, it's a science. We're dealing with science here. When you dealing with canning, pressure canning, storing food in your pantry, you're dealing with a science. It may be a hobby, something you enjoy doing, but do it the right way. Follow the science. Something that has been practiced, and they've been doing it for years. So they already went before you, and they, the USDA, they have people's doing research. You know, your tax dollars, that's what your tax dollars does. It go towards that research. So if you want to go into canned goods business, open up an operation, maybe a factory, you're gonna do canned goods, you're gonna be canning food. Well, you're going to have the USDA inspectors there inspecting that plant, make sure that you're doing everything right. You know, my mom stayed near a big, large plant here in Florida, orange juice plant, and they have inspectors there all the time. Inspect them, make sure they do it right. So when you drink that orange juice, everything is all right. Okay, and it's likewise with the canned goods that we eat. When we go to your local store and you get canned goods, you don't think about botulism, you think about sodium. How much sodium is in this can? You ever looked at a can and find out how much Clostridium, botulinum was in there? No, you was concerned about sodium because you know they're practicing the science. You know that the USDA is inspecting those cans. So you're not concerned about that. You feel comfortable and your emotions is not going crazy when you buying canned goods from the store. So, well, your emotions go crazy when you think of, if you knew the can and you never canned before, your emotions may go a little crazy. I don't know about canning, that's dangerous. It can be if you don't follow the law. It's just like an airline pilot. When a pilot first starts flying, he's concerned and he's emotional. And, you know, because he don't know much about it. But when he began to practice the law of flying, aerodynamics and all those things, then his emotions calms down. He began to be at peace. It's the same way with canning. When you follow the laws of canning, you can be at peace. It's just like when you walk in the store and get some canned goods and you open up the beans, pork and beans, you don't think about botulism when you eat those canned beans. You don't think about that. You just say, good. Well, you know, that's just the way you'll feel if you follow the laws of canning. Okay, you'll feel that same way. Your emotions will calm down. Why? Because you have knowledge. You have knowledge now. Okay, so we have to gain the knowledge, do our research. You can do your research as well. You know, you can feel comfortable. Well, why does the USDA say this? You can do a little research and you'll find out that, oh, how many people died from eating out of cans? Not many. Okay, why? Because they're following the laws of canning. So you can follow the same law. When they say get this thing up to 250, that's what you do. When they talk about elevations, you do your research. And so you can feel comfortable, so your emotions can be calm. And get you a canner so you can be comfortable with. Don't go out there and just find something, oh, this costs $98. Well, when you get it, are you going to feel comfortable with it? And you think, oh, this thing may blow up. Just piece of tin. It might blow up. Yeah, it may. Get something that someone have a history behind it. You know, do your research when you buy a canner, you know. And like this one here, I like this one because it locks down. It don't just got 2 locks on it. Some of them may just have 2 locks. I want more locks. So this one here is solid, you know, and it locks down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you know. You can feel comfortable with that, you know. So, and plus it's heavy duty. Get something that you're going to feel comfortable with. Yeah, I'm going to get the cheapest one I can find. But you may not be feeling comfortable with the cheapest one you can find. Get something that you going to feel comfortable with. Enjoy. Enjoy the canning. You know, don't be afraid of it. Get something that you can feel comfortable with so you can enjoy it. And learn about canning, botulism, and what it's all about. You don't want to be paralyzed. You want to make sure when your brain sends a message down to your muscles will move. Your feet will move. Your intestinal system will move, function. You can go use the bathroom. You can enjoy life. Okay, so that's what's learning, because that's what it's all about. Clostridium, botulinum. So I said it's everywhere, and when it feels uncomfortable, when the environment is not in the right environment, it forms into spores. And so you can't see it with your eyes, you can't even smell it. So that's why you have to go by the science. Sometimes on an airplane, when you're flying in, coming into the city, getting ready to land, you can't even see the airport. But the pilot can't see it either, but he got a radar system there. He sees it on radar. He knows how far he is from the ground, you know, because he's following the science of aerodynamics. So that's what we have to do, and you'll feel comfortable. When that plane landing, it seems like, oh, you're gonna crash, but no, he got it all under control. He can't see, but he's following the laws of flying. We are following the laws of canning. So you don't have to be afraid of botulism. You're not afraid of it when you go to the store and buy your canned goods. So why, if you learn the laws of canning and you follow those instructions, the truth will make you free. Okay, you don't have to be in fear. It will make you free if you do the right thing. Okay, so, but when the bacteria gets in a condition, you know, trying to prolong its survival, trying to prolong its life, extend its life, it turns, when it gets in a hostile environment, it turns into spores. And those spores are heat resistant. They're hard to kill them. They don't mind you putting them in a 80-degree pot. They ain't thinking about no 80-degree pot. Hey man, she got us in an 80-degree pot. We'll be all right in here. We'll be all right in this jar. The next time you know, 6 months from now, you got spores turning into the bacteria again. Clostridium, botulinum. They end up having a good old time eating your beans up. Eating your beans. All that hard work you done. Next time you know, the lid on your top is bulging out. Why? Because the bacteria and they're having a good old time. They're having a good old time in your jar. Okay, and you look at it. Look at these jars. They got a little bigger, didn't they? The lid got a little bigger. Well, if that lid begin to bulge up, you know, throw that out. Don't just go ahead and eat it. Why? You don't want to eat that because, see, that bacteria, Clostridium botulinum, most likely probably have turned into the toxin, botulinum toxin, the neurotoxin. You don't want to eat that because that'll get down in your system. You know, it'll get down in your system, snail proteins, and it'll begin to affect the snail protein. And you don't want it to do that because it'll cling to it and begin to break it down. And you need the snail proteins to work in your body. Snail protein, it assists and drives the acetylcholine. You know, acetylcholine is very important for your body. It receives messages, transfer messages down from your brain to different parts of your body. And you need that. That's very important for your muscles to contract. But in order for that to be released in your body, it's in your body. But in order for that to be released, you need the snail proteins. It releases that. If the acetylcholine is not released, your body is not going to be able to function properly. When your nervous system send a message, you know, your nervous system, the nerves in your body, I was reading that it's like up to 45 miles long. And in 1 second, your nerves can send a message. You know the distance from a football field from one end to another? It's 100 yards. Plus you got 10 yards on each side of the football field for the end zone. So that's 120 yards. But about 110 yards, your nervous system can send a message the length of a football field in 1 second. Just 1 second. But you see that toxin, that neurotoxin gets in your body and it prevents those messages from being sent. That acetylcholine, it'll prevent that from being released so the messages can't be sent. The acetylcholine is a messenger. But if those messages can't be sent, you're looking at flaccid paralysis. You ain't gonna be able to move. You ain't gonna be able to move your arms, your intestines. Your food won't be able to travel down your system. You won't be able to use the bathroom properly. You won't be able to think properly. You won't be able to remember properly. You won't be able to do a whole lot of things because you need that acetylcholine in your body so you can function. And that's what prevents you from functioning. And you won't be able to, may not be able to eat on your own. You ever heard of Botox? That's what they use, cosmetics. They interject. They interject it in your body. Well, that's a toxin. That's the same toxin we're talking about. There's 8 strands, A, B, C, D, but C, D don't affect the humans, mostly animals, but E, F, and G, and there's an H that I was reading about. So there's 8 strands of it, but so you have to be real careful. You don't have to be afraid of it. Just do the science. If you do the science, you'll be all right. Unless you want to be laid up in a hospital and they have to feed you through a tube. You see, but if you follow the laws of canon, you will be all right. You don't have to have these toxins come in your body, you know, so, because you're killing the spores. That's all you're trying to do. Kill the spores so you won't be laid up in the hospital, because you don't want those toxins in your body. You want to make sure that when your brain sends a message to your toes are moving. Is that right? Well, I enjoyed this. Well, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Lily of the Valley Community Garden. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.